Mom? 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 Mom!
Try and stay calm. I'm gonna be on the phone with you the whole time.
Copy on the road therapy. Air Force 97.
This happened to me about 3 years ago. It was brought up recently with my friends, and they suggested that I post it here. I've gone through therapy for this and trained in firearms because this was the creepiest night of my life. I spent a night in what felt like a horror movie.
It's still so vivid.
It was a Wednesday night in the summer. I was off work, my husband was out of town, and our son was staying at his grandma's for the night. I was home alone with my dogs, an 80-pound Aussie mix and my 80-pound German Shepherd Pit Bull mix. I always have issues sleeping when I'm home alone, so I tend to just binge watch TV in the living room until I can't keep my eyes open anymore. This particular night, I remember that the trash pickup comes the next day. I decided to turn on Game of Thrones for a bit, and then I would take the trash out. All of a sudden, I realize it's 1:30 a.m., and I still haven't taken the trash to the curb. My house has 2 solid iron gates, one in the front and one to the side door / backyard. Lighting on our street or anywhere in the neighborhood isn't that great, but it's a quiet neighborhood with lots of families, and you rarely hear about crime here. I looked out the window by habit before I took the trash out, and saw who I thought was my neighbor. He was smoking a cigarette outside of his gate across the street, looking directly at me. For context, this is a normal occurrence. My neighbor across the street hides smoking cigarettes from his wife, so he typically does it late at night in front of his gate. I get off of work late, so I usually see him and we wave, say hi, chat a little, and then I go inside and he makes the joke, "You didn't see me smoking," if my wife asks. So unbothered by seeing the guy, I go outside, grab my trash cans, open my squeaky iron gate, and take them out to the curb. I did not have my glasses on at the time, so as usual I waved and said hello. However, the guy, who I thought was my neighbor, threw down the cigarette and quickly walked off down the street. It took a minute for me to register that he was not my neighbor. I was a little creeped out because he was clearly staring into my window from the opposite sidewalk. But also, maybe it was just a guy taking a night walk, and maybe he just stopped for a cigarette. That wouldn't be unusual in our neighborhood. I thought I probably weirded him out as much as he weirded me out. Went back inside and laid on the couch with my dogs to keep watching Game of Thrones. At some point, I fell asleep, and I woke up hearing my gate squeak, and my German Shepherd mix growling. He's extremely protective of our family at home, but he's also the kind of dog you can just take anywhere because he's so friendly in public. My Aussie mix is more passive, but his sheer size and scary bark tends to deter people. He's very friendly though. I quickly got up and pulled back my curtain. My gate was still shut, and I didn't see anything. My dog, however, continued to growl at my front door. I looked out another window, which had a better view of my front yard and porch. I didn't see anything. Eventually, my dog settled back down with my other dog, but I was still uneasy. I ended up watching TV again because I couldn't go back to sleep. About an hour later, I definitely heard my gate squeak. We are the only ones with a heavy cast iron gate, and the noise it makes is so distinct. So I look out the window while my dogs are continuing to softly growl. My gate is halfway open, but I don't see anyone. At this point, I'm panicking. In my panic, I couldn't find my phone. I grabbed my wooden baseball bat out of our room, crouched down, and started going through the couch cushions to get my phone. My dogs are oddly still quietly growling instead of barking, so I assumed no one was there. The minute I find my phone, the front door handle starts shaking. I run to the side door to get my German Shepherd mix out. I know he'll protect me, and he can jump the 6-foot back gate. My Aussie mix, going crazy, busts out one of the door side lights. I heard the guy say,
Oh shit.
and immediately, I let out my German Shepherd mix. I jumped up to look out the window, and I saw my dog latch on the guy's hand. The guy starts screaming and takes off down the street. my dog chasing him. I then become terrified I'll hurt my dog, so I run out with my baseball bat, screaming my dog's name over and over. The next thing I know, my dog is prancing down the street back to me, happy as shit with blood all over his face. I called the police. It took another hour or so to show up, and didn't seem to take me too seriously. They said they'd call local hospitals, but I never heard back. I called my husband bawling, and he got on the next flight home. I stayed at his mom's for a few days, too terrified to go home. I did buy my dogs giant ribeyes for being so good and saving me. I don't know what that guy wanted, but since then, I've been trained in firearms and self-defense. So creepy guy, let's not meet again. My dog might just finish the job he started.